Whether you're picking and grinning or just grinning, grab a drink, pull up a seat. It's time for Roots Music Rambler. Turn it up. So I don't know if you saw the news, but Rush is, they've got a new drummer to replace Neil Peart, and they're going on a, special limited tour. And my antenna went off. I got really excited because Rush is one of those bands that I've always wanted to see, but never made it to a show while Neil Peart was still alive. And so now I'm thinking I got to find one of these cities and make a vacation weekend out of it and go see Rush. And so that got me thinking, what other artists have I not seen that I want to, that are on my bucket list? And I keep a little bit of a list together, so I kind of know who's on this list. But I wanted to ask you, who have you not seen live that you would like to see live?
That's a great question. And there are two that come to mind immediately. The first one, or am I answering now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. The first one is Kathleen Edwards, and she was my pick in the Grinnin' a bunch of episodes back. But yeah, I started listening to her in 2003. So, do the math. It's been a real long time. And I know she stepped away from music for a bit. But in the last couple of years, she's put out a couple more albums and she's toured. I had a ticket to see her a couple of years ago, but life. And then I ended up selling it, and she's actually playing here in Chicago next week as we're recording. And again, I don't know that I'm going to be able to make it. It's in the middle of a week that I already have something going on every day. So yeah, that is, she's number 2 on the list. And number 1 is, the goddess of them all. And that is Lucinda Williams. I've been listening to her for 25 years and still haven't gotten to see her live. Nathan Graham even opened for her at Fitzgerald's, and I could not make it to the show.
Oh, man.
Could you believe that lineup in that venue? And I didn't fucking go. I know. These damn kids. So anyway, and, not to be morbid, but Lucinda's not in the best health. She had a stroke a few years ago. And, but I mean, she's back at it. She's been touring and everything. I just feel like my time is kind of running out to catch her live. So she's number 1 on the list.
Very nice. That's a good short list there for you. Okay. Rush is obviously who I led with, and that's a special exception because I just assumed I was never going to get to see them. Yeah. And now there's this surprise. Neil Peart's obviously passed away, but I'll see, 2 of the 3 original members, or the 2 original members, because Neil Peart was not an original member. If you know anything about Rush,
I don't.
He joined a little bit later, but anyway, Rush is on that list. But I was thinking about this, and there's a handful of folks that I would love to see that I haven't seen. I think if I had to rank them though, my number 1 besides Rush right now would be Sarah Jaraz. Okay. I love her music. I have 2 or 3 of her albums. I love Jealous Moon, her album from last year, but she did a very limited run of Jealous Moon, supporting shows. And then the I'm With Her project started, and she's been on the road with the 2 of them, Sarah Watkins, I believe, and Aoife O'Donovan. And I would love to see them and Sarah Jaraz, but I want to see Sarah Jaraz solo. So she's kind of number 1 on my list right now. Tedeschi Trucks Band, I think it would probably be number 2. I really like their music. They're the kind of band that I would really get excited about, just diving into them and becoming addicted to them for a while. I have not done that listening to their music yet because I kind of want to see them live first and then just kind of go nuts.
Oh.
So they're on my list. There's a couple of others. I'd love to see the Band of Heathens. I've never seen them. Here's a curveball out of left field for you. Red Hot Chili Peppers. I've always wanted to see them. I've never seen them live. I love them. Karen doesn't like them and makes fun of me because I like them. I don't know why she makes fun of me because I like them, because I think they're cool. I like them. But yeah, there's a couple others. Lucinda Williams is actually on my longer list that I keep written down somewhere.
Yeah.
I also haven't seen Sierra Farrell live yet.
Oh, okay.
And I haven't seen Margot Price is another one that I haven't seen live yet. So I'm going to knock a few of these off here in the next year. I know Margot Price is playing at Railbird, which announced its lineup this week as we're recording this. She's playing on the Sunday, which is the day Tyler Childers is playing. Mm-hmm. And so I will definitely be seeing her because I got my tickets today.
Oh, you did?
I did. I just did this Sunday. The Saturday lineup didn't really necessarily appeal to me. No offense to the bands that are on it, the Lumineers or the headliners on Saturday. They're fine. I'm just not huge into them. But everybody that I wanted to see on the lineup is on Sunday. So I was like, well, that's a no-brainer. Yeah. And I got tickets for Grant and Katie too, so I think we're all three going to go.
Nice.
Yeah.
Speaking of Railbird, Robert Earl Keen, is he playing on Saturday?
He's playing on Saturday. He's the one guy that I probably would have wanted to see on the Saturday lineup. Same. Worse than the others. There's several on Saturday that I wouldn't mind seeing, but the Creakers are playing Railbird.
Yep.
So we're super excited about that. Nicholas Jamerson is playing Railbird as well.
So many friends of the show.
Yeah. Margot's going to be there. Tyler, of course, is the headliner. Evan Honer is there as well. I like him a lot. I saw him at one of those shows I went to this summer. I went to so many, I can't remember what their names are anymore. But yeah, so Railbird's going to be fun, and I'm excited about that. And we'll see where all these other summer festivals as they start to roll out their lineups and see how many I'm going to try to go to. My budget's probably going to be a little tighter next summer.
Okay.
So I won't be going to as many, I don't think. But I said that last year, and I've already exceeded.
I was just going to say, you said that last year, and I think you've blown that out of the water. Oh, can I add another? To my list? And this is like a total, it's a dream. It's never going to happen. At least I don't believe it. But I would love an Uncle Tupelo reunion.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh my God. I would lose my shit.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I don't think it'll happen.
I'm doubtful. It's one of those things that I think it's like, that's a pipe dream, and it's on everybody's list, but it's probably not likely. Yeah. So, that would be cool though. I mean, never say never, but damn,
I know
that'd be cool. Sweet. Anyway. Okay. Well, I'm glad to know we've got some commonalities, because Lucinda Williams on my list as well. Leife's on there. There's a couple others on there that I would really love to see live that I haven't. So we'll just keep knocking them off, kicking ass and taking names.
Hell yeah.
Welcome to Roots Music Rambler. She's Frank.
And he's Falls.
And we're rambling on through the stories behind the music we love.
And today on the show, we have our first ever repeat guest. That's right. Think of all the people that we've had on the show, which I think this is like episode 58 or something. So that's more than like 2 years worth of Roots Music Rambler. So you're welcome. And, how about you want to pause the recording, go look at the list, all the people that we've talked to on the show before, and guess, you can. And who will be the first, second time guest? What do you think?
I like your thinking, but by the time people download and listen or click through and watch, they'll know who the guest is, because we put that on the cover art and stuff.
Oh, all right. But play along because.
Okay. Go ahead.
Are we doing it? Am I just going to tell the answer?
Yeah, go for it.
Fine. Okay, today we're talking to Brit Taylor again. Yay!
Yes, Brit Taylor's first visit with us was on episode 16, which was dropped in March of 2024. That's when I caught up with her at the Burl in Lexington, where she was kicking off her Kentucky Blue album tour. This time I was able to get her virtually from her home near Nashville, just after she played one of the two main stages at Bourbon and Beyond here in Louisville.
And again, the schedule gods did not come together and make it so that I could be a part of it, or Falls is just keeping Brit to himself, because again, I was unable to be part of the conversation. So explain, Lucy.
I will neither confirm nor deny my involvement in this.
Mm-hmm. I see how you are. Okay. Well, anyway, it's great that we were able to chat with her again because, and by the time you hear this, she may very well have given birth to her first child.
Mm-hmm.
She and her husband, Adam Chaffins, either are or very soon will be new parents. So, Adam, and I know we talked about this before, Adam plays bass and provides backup vocals in Brit's band, but is also an accomplished solo artist in his own right.
That's right. We'll get Adam on the show too soon enough, I'm sure. But I was able to chat with Brit about her pending motherhood, how she's going to balance being a country music star and a new mom, her new single, All for Sale, and a lot more. We had a fun chat, and I'm sure you're all going to enjoy catching up with Brit Taylor today.
So a new single, does that mean that there's a new album on the way?
You'll have to listen to the interview to find out, my dear.
Fine. Okay. We'll also have our pick and the grinning. Be sure. So be sure. See, he's playing with my emotions here and it's affecting my speech. Okay. So we will also have our pick and the grinning segment. So be sure to stick around after the interview for that.
Yes, please do. And I'm excited to let Frank have her questions answered and let you hear from Brit. So I'm just going to go get my refill while we listen to these fine sponsors that make this show possible. When we come back, round 2 with the fabulous Brit Taylor. Don't go away. This is Roots Music Rambler. Welcome back to Roots Music Rambler. We have the great honor of the first ever repeat guest on the show. Brit Taylor is with us. Brit, how are you?
I'm good, doing good.
And you are, you are extremely pregnant at the moment, as I understand it, correct?
Very pregnant, yes.
Well, I saw you at Bourbon and Beyond, obviously a couple weeks ago when we were recording this. Mm-hmm. And you were very pregnant then too. How was that to try to pull that off?
Man, that was so much fun. I'm just glad that it happened when it happened, so I could still, make the festival. And it was just so much fun. And how special it'll be, like when I get to tell her about it, years from now. That's where that's where you were in your mom's belly while she was playing for all these people at like one of the coolest festivals ever.
Sure, it's got to be. And I don't know if you've done festivals that size before. I'm sure you've done some big venues and whatnot, but it's got to be weird walking out on a stage that big and a venue that big. And I know it was early in the day. It wasn't completely full, but that had to have been a weird experience to walk out there and go, wow, this is not the Bluebird.
Yeah, it was the big stage. There were 2 giant stages and I was on one of those. And so that was, that was a surprise. I don't pay much attention when I get booked for stuff like that. So I just kind of assumed, I guess, that I would be on one of the smaller stages. And my husband was looking, he was like, babe, you're on one of the big stages. I was like, what? He's like, yeah, you're the first act on like one of the main stages. And I was like, that's crazy.
Well, I was the heckler. I was the guy who yelled out Pike County and Knott County and Moorhead at the beginning. That was me. I was down there yelling. So I was hanging on the rail. I was like, yes, I get to see Brit live again. And this is awesome. So
that's awesome.
I enjoyed that. That was fun. I hope I didn't throw you all off too much by yelling.
No, not at all.
Yell at you. I remember
we love it.
I yelled out Pike County first because you're born in Pikeville and that's where I'm from.
Yeah.
And you and Adam looked at each other. Well, close enough. And I was like, or Knott County, whatever.
Enough, yeah.
Come on.
It's all the same. Louisa, Knott County, Perry County, Floyd County. Like, we all claim each other because we have to go to all those places to get all the things that we need, anyways,
That's true.
because
That's
it's
very
not
true.
all in one place.
That's very true. So, coming in from break, we were listening to a little bit of All for Sale, which is your new single. It actually just came out a few weeks ago. Actually, I think a week right before Bourbon and Beyond came out. Love the song. Tell us a little bit about it. I guess the question I want to ask to lead you into telling us about the song is this a cautionary tale for Adam?
Oh yeah, definitely. I actually wrote it with Adam. So we wrote it with our buddy Adam Wright, who's just one of our favorite co-writers. If your listeners, if y'all haven't heard of Adam Wright, please do yourself a favor and go listen to everything he's ever put out or that other artists have ever cut of his, because he is just insanely talented. We just love him so much. But we were just out here at the house. We were actually back here behind where I'm sitting now. There's a little deck, and I remember this. It was the year of like the cicadas. Like, I don't know if it was last summer or the summer before, but they were so loud that we could hardly talk to one another. But we just started. We just always have a good time when we're out here, and we just wanted to write something kind of funny. And Adam started playing. I don't know if you can see it. I'm afraid to move my phone, but there's this old mandola from like the 30s
Yeah.
maybe back there, and he started playing that lick on it, and then Adam started playing, and I just randomly sang "There's a Sign at 70 in Chicken Road." I think maybe I'd been down Chicken Road like in the days prior, and Adam Wright said, "2 miles, turn left, it's all gotta go." And I was like, oh my God, I know exactly what this song is about. And then we just started talking about it, and I was like, this girl's fed up. She wants all of his stuff gone, and she's selling it while he's like not even home. So and we just wrote it and had fun, and I just see like so many members of my family in it, like the sucking on a Pepsi and a cigarette.
Yep.
Like, to me, it just had to be Pepsi, because that's what my aunt and my papa would drink and smoke their cigarettes on the front porch in Beaver. So I was like, we just tried to paint this character of, a lot of different folks that we'd seen growing up.
Well, everything in that song, especially the Pepsi and the cigarette, because for people who aren't from Eastern Kentucky, the Pepsi Cola bottling company in Pikeville like dominated for the 60s and 70s. Coke couldn't get a tap in edgewise in Eastern Kentucky. And so it's Pepsi over Coke for a lot of people, especially the older generations. But everything about that song, I just kept listening to the lyrics and thinking, now that's some hillbilly shit right there.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what that song is. It just made me laugh because I know several friends of mine and family members of mine who, as their husband or boyfriend does something dumb and everything's in the yard and probably set on fire. So
yeah. I just love the whole story change of like, she's not going to burn it. She's going to sell everything and get the hell out of Dodge.
That's a good one. That's good. Now, I know you've mentioned this. I saw an interview you did during Bourbon and Beyond, and then you mentioned this, and I know I don't know a whole lot of details. So you got a new single that normally implies a new album. What's in the works?
We got some secrets up our sleeves, and hopefully we can announce that early next year. We're kind of in baby mode for the rest of this year, but we got into the studio earlier this year and did a lot of really fun stuff, and I can't wait to start sharing more of that.
That's awesome. Well, I'm looking forward to the new music, and obviously, I mean, your baby's due here in the next month or two, so obviously you're not going to be touring and all that good stuff, at least for a while. I'm curious, though, musicians, professional musicians, everybody does their own different thing, but I would think that going into parenthood for the first time for you and Adam as musicians, like that's got to be really stressful to try to figure out, because one or both of you are on the road all the time or in the studio, and it's not like you can take 2 or 3 months off, because if you do, you kind of lose traction. So what were those conversations like when you were like, okay, we're going to have a baby. How are we going to do this?
Yeah, I mean, people do it all the time. Margot Price has 2 kids and she gets to travel with her husband, and we do travel a lot together too. So hopefully we can just get on a schedule where we're together more than we're apart, and have one of our moms or family member come along. And Maggie Rose is a perfect example of somebody that's she just had a kid and hopped right on a bus and went on tour with Stapleton. Stapleton has all his kids on a bus. Like, people do. Loretta Lynn had 4 kids before she ever even started in the music business, and so did Tammy Wynette. It's kind of strange that it's became this like taboo, like weird thing in the last like few years, because I don't know, it felt very outlaw to be like pregnant at Bourbon and Beyond, and I'm like, this might be the most outlaw thing that I've done. But I'm really proud of that, and I have a little girl cooking in my belly right now, and I hope that I just want her to know and see that she can follow her dreams and have a family, and she can have all the things that she wants. You just have to go for it, and believe that you can.
That's
And
awesome.
so I'm just trying to live that out for her.
Well, we heard very similar sentiments from Maggie Noel from Magnolia Boulevard a few episodes ago. She talked about, she's got a 6-year-old daughter, just started first grade, and we asked her what it was like to be a rock star and a mom, and she was like, I don't know. I need all the help I can get. But she said the same things. Like, I want my daughter to know she doesn't have to, step aside and change her life because life throws you curveballs, or life gives you blessings that you wanted in the first place. You can still pursue your dreams. So kudos to you and Adam for doing that. Now, Adam, obviously Adam Chaffin is your husband, and co-writer, collaborator, producer. He's also bass player, backup vocals in your band. He probably plays a bunch of other instruments too. But he also has a solo career. And so I'm wondering how you guys balance that. We've talked to a couple of husband wife kind of duos before, and it always seems interesting to me to know how you guys balance. Okay, whose album comes out when? How do you prioritize who goes on the road, who stays home, who doesn't? What's that like for you guys?
Man, we just say yes to whoever reaches out and says, do you want to do this? And we just say yes, and then we figure it out. We literally, that is how we live our life. Like I said, I just don't believe that you have, like, there are sacrifices that you have to make, but you never have to sacrifice the things that you love most. And like, we have this little farm out here, and everybody's like, oh, how do you take care of the land? It's like, I just do a little planning. I just plan a little bit, and I find somebody to take care of it while I'm away. Like, just planning. Isn't it so hard to have all those animals, those donkeys and the goats? And I'm like, I can't imagine not having them. Like, coming home wouldn't be the same. Um, like, I just love it so much, and if you do feel like it's such a burden and a sacrifice to have to do a little extra planning for those things, you probably don't love it that much. But we love it, and we're gonna say yes to the opportunity, and then we're gonna take the appropriate steps to make sure that all the things here are taken care of. It's not always easy, but if we start early, we figure it out, and then it always works out.
Very good. Well, let's see, Pepsi throwing his stuff out and selling it, donkeys and goats. We're talking some good old fashioned Appalachia family heritage going on here. Tell me a little bit about growing up in Knott County and how that's impacted your songwriting over the years.
Oh my gosh, I think Knott County and Eastern Kentucky, the stories that I tell seep into every single song. The stories that I've seen my entire life with my grandparents, were characters. There's just so many wonderful characters. And even when I'm not writing about a specific person, I feel like I just morph these characters into life by the things that I've seen and the things that I love and appreciate. And I don't think that had I been from anywhere else in the world, I would be doing what I do, because there's such a rich history in country music. And then I grew up so close to Prestonsburg, and playing in the Kentucky Opera Junior Pros and getting that experience was just, I mean, I loved it. treated it like it was a job, and it was very important and very serious to me. And I just never really thought about doing anything else other than what I'm doing. Like, it was never even a thought of like, oh, I might be a vet, or I might be a this or a that, or I might just get married. And it was never as like, I'm going to Nashville and this is what I'm going to do, because all these people from this area have done it before me. Loretta Lynn, Patty Loveless, Billy Ray Cyrus, Dwight Yoakam, Ricky Skaggs, the Judds, and the list just goes on and on and on and on. So it was just really encouraging, and yeah, Eastern Kentucky's definitely made me who I am, and it will always hold a spot in my heart.
That's awesome. Well, it's been interesting to see what I would consider the new wave of country music stars like yourself and Adam, and folks like Nick Jamerson with Sunday Best and whatnot, who are keeping those doors open for younger generations, because I don't think there's anybody in Eastern Kentucky now who thinks I can't do this. And it's because of folks like you. And then, of course, you did that because of folks like Patty and Dwight and so on and so forth. So it's just interesting that our part of the country seems to have a lot more of that than other parts, at least some other parts.
Yeah, it gives you a lot of hope.
It does. I know you've done some collaborative work before with Meg McCree and Ben Chapman, who just had a baby. So I'm curious, though, who is it that you listen to when you're not writing music, when you're not working with your band or working with Adam? Who are you listening to? Who's inspiring you and turning you on when you turn on the radio or Spotify or whatever these days?
Oh, man. You know, I'm still bad to go back and listen to stuff I listened to in high school. I still listen to a ton of Patty Loveless, and I love Lee and Womack's last 3 records so much. I keep repeating those. But recently I've been jamming out to J.D. Worthington.
Okay.
He's the new George Jones. Like, if Zach Top is the new Alan Jackson, JD is the new George Jones, and I just love that era of country music, and I love how fresh they're making it. Stapleton, of course, Tyler, somebody new. Let's see, Maggie Rose, her new record's incredible. Harper O'Neill. Oh gosh, there's so many. There's so many great new artists. I can't even think of them all.
That's good though. The variety is great. When you listen to other people's songs, do you think about, maybe I can get an idea from this, or are you ever doing any sort of comparison and contrast of your own music to those?
I try not to. I think that's what got me into a lot of trouble when I first got here, is trying to chase whatever I thought was successful, like on mainstream country radio, which is at the time was Kelsey Ballerini was breaking. She was the only woman. I don't sound a daggone thing like Kelsey Ballerini. Like, why in the world would I ever try? We are 2 different humans. She's beautiful and she's wonderful, but that's not what I do. Like, I don't write pop songs, I don't do that. And I think that it just took me a really long time when I got to town to figure out who I was, because I was comparing and trying to chase this very narrow idea of success. And so now, when I do catch myself doing that, I just stop listening completely and go back to what I used to love, because that's the kind of music that I want to make. So I actually haven't listened to mainstream country radio since 2017 because of all of that. I just was like, okay, I'm turning it off, because turning it on just makes me depressed, and I've got to figure out who I am and what kind of artist I want to be.
That's great to hear, because I love what you're doing. I loved your first album. And then Kentucky Blue was fantastic. And then you immediately spun that around to Kentucky Bluegrass, which was brilliant. I love that one too. And so I can't wait to hear this new stuff, because the All for Sale is fantastic. But I really appreciate your time, appreciate what you're doing. Good luck with being a mom and all that good stuff. I guess let me ask this question. Have you thought about yet, or has pregnancy and then maybe the thought of going into motherhood, has that changed anything in your approach to writing music yet? Because it will.
We have definitely, oh yeah, I know, definitely it will. Like I think about the songs. I've been a songwriter in Nashville since 2013. I signed my first like professional deal, and I was writing years before that, or else I wouldn't have gotten the deal in the first place. But it's so funny when my dad will recall a song that I wrote, when I was 20. Like, why don't you put that on a record? And it's like, well, I'm not 20 anymore. I'm not, those, you outgrow those songs like you outgrow clothes or like style. And there's some that I keep on a notebook to go back to. But what I'm saying is all those songs throughout the years have been shaped by my life and where I am and how much I'm growing, who I'm with, the people who are my friends, which has changed over the years. There's new people come into your life and they change things for you and they shape who you are as a person. And that shapes my music because that's where all of it comes from in the first place. So I know that when she gets here, it is going to change. There's going to be songs about motherhood because that's going to be my experience. And I'm actually really, really excited about that.
Well, we're excited for you. I can't wait to hear the new album, and then I can't wait to hear whatever comes after that, because that's where the new mom stuff is going to come, and I'm sure it's going to be absolutely brilliant. Well, Brit, thank you so much for spending some time with us. We're honored to have you back on the show. First repeat guest. Wouldn't have it any other way. Love my Pike County / Knott County girls. And so good to have you on the show. Thanks for taking some time with us.
No, thank you for having me anytime.
All right, we're going to go out and go to break with my favorite Brit Taylor song and the song that she led off Bourbon and Beyond with. Here's Cabin in the Woods. Stay tuned. This is Roots Music Rambler.
I got a cabin in the woods. It does my soul so good. Come on over, if you would, to my cabin in the woods. I got an old dog sitting on the porch. He lays there all night by the tiki torch. His legs are worn out, but his heart's still good. At my cabin in the woods. Well, I wouldn't trade it for a mansion on a hill, a condo, Cabo, or $1 million bill. Only thing's missing is a little company to hunker down here by the fire with me. Hunker down here by the fire with me.
How about that, Brit Taylor? Pretty good guest to have as our first repeat guest on the show. Obviously, I'm a little partial to her because she was born in Pikeville, Kentucky, and grew up just a couple counties over in Knott County. So she's a fellow hillbilly like me. But yeah, good stuff. It's always fun to talk to her too. She's just so sweet. So
she's cute too.
Yeah, she is. And I can't wait. When we're recording this, they have not yet given birth. She has not yet given birth. She and Adam are not yet parents. But by the time you hear this, they probably will be. We're very, very close to her due date.
Yeah.
And by the time this episode comes out, it won't be too long after. I think the baby will be here. So fingers crossed that everything goes well and all that good stuff. But
for sure.
Excited for them to have a child.
Yeah. Yeah. Kids are great.
Yeah, I'm not going to be having any more. So y'all young pups can have them childrens.
Yep.
I'm more than happy to just sit around and wait to be a grandfather, which I'm not excited about being called a grandfather or qualifying as one. So I need a few more years for that. Grant and Katie, watch it. But I'd much rather, spoil somebody else's kid and send them back to them.
There you go.
There you go. All right, it's time for the Picking the Grinning segment. That's where Frank and I pick the songs, the artists, the musics, the soundtracks, the shows, the documentaries, whatever the hell we pick that's been making us grin this week. Most of the time, in fact, almost all the time, it's music related. But it's our way of recommending new music to you or even old music that we've just drummed back up and want to remind you that it's out there to listen to. And so I'm going to turn it over to Frank first. Frank, what's your Picking the Grinning this week?
So mine is just as you described. It's like you were reading my mind. Old music that kind of just surfaced not that long ago. And I was like, oh my God, I remember. And I love this band and blah, blah, blah. So I know I talked, I don't even remember how long ago, about how I was a new wave girl, back in the 80s. And, still remember a lot of the bands and the music that was really my jam back in the day. And so the other day I was in the car and I had First Wave, that station on Sirius XM, and a song by Information Society came on. And I was like, oh my God, I haven't thought about these guys or heard them in ages. And it was all coming back to me. I was singing along in the car and I was like, oh man, I really gotta, not like I can pull out the cassette tape that I had back in the 80s because Lord knows where that is. But I don't know if they're on Spotify. I didn't look, but yeah, I'm going to have to figure it out somehow and give it all a listen again, because that was one of my faves back in high school.
Pure energy.
Pure. Yes. So yes,
I want to know what you're thinking. Tell me what's on your mind. I know that song. That's good. I like it. Information Society. That's a good one. Here's the question. If you had the cassette tape, do you have a mechanism to play it?
Have you met Tom?
Oh, that's right. Yeah. You got a nerd.
We have a couple.
Yeah. Okay. I actually do too. But I didn't have it. I uncovered a box of my old radio tapes from back when I was trying to be a radio superstar, like literally 30 years ago. And I did some interviews when I worked in network sports for a while in New York City. And I did some interviews with some celebrity athletes and whatnot. And I have some of that stuff on cassette tape. And so Karen saw these tapes and asked me what they were. And she said, well, let's play them. And I looked around. I don't have a cassette player. I can't play them. So she had this little jam box that she was using for something. And she just brought it over to my house. I still have it in the garage. And it was kind of cool because I got to go through those tapes and play them for my son, who got to hear me interview Wayne Gretzky. That's one of the interviews I have on tape. And and Grant was like, oh, my God, that's really you interviewing. I thought you were full of shit. You're really interviewing Wayne Gretzky. Yeah, that's what I told you.
Hold up. Why am I just learning about this now?
Well, I don't talk about my sports stuff very often. Right out of college, I was a network producer at ABC Radio Sports, and I got to interview a bunch of people in New York City, and he was one of them.
Oh, my God. Yeah, but, I mean, that hockey is my first love.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I actually have somewhere back over my shoulder, I have an autographed picture of Wayne Gretzky signed to, Jason, your friend, Wayne Gretzky. So, which happened while I was interviewing him. Which I shouldn't have. I wasn't supposed to. As a journalist, ethically, I was not supposed to ask him for an autograph.
Sure.
I'm a dumb hick from Eastern Kentucky, and I'm standing in front of the greatest hockey player that's ever lived. I'm like, will you please sign an autograph for me?
I don't even know how to skate.
Yeah. And so he did.
And because I grew up in the 80s when Wayner was, in his prime, and his team terrorized my team. So I was never a real big fan, but there's still no denying just how important he was and still is to the game of hockey. Okay, that's it. No more talk about hockey.
Okay.
You're picking the grinning.
All right. My picking the grinning. I just this past weekend, I went home to Pikeville, Kentucky, to check in on Mom after her surgery. She's doing well. Thanks for the well wishers out there for her. But while I was there was a music festival happening in town, which I think is in its 6th year or something like that, called the Mountain Girl Experience. And girl is GRRL. And it basically is a female centric music festival and arts and crafts. There's lots of other things besides the music. But they set up a stage in downtown Pikeville. Casey Weldon was the headliner. Casey. Sorry.
Kelsey Walden.
Kelsey Walden was the headliner on Saturday night. Magnolia Boulevard, friend of the show, Maggie Noel, was the headliner on Friday night. So I got to see a bunch of other artists that I didn't know well. I'd heard of them, but I hadn't heard them or seen them live. And one of those is Grace Ann Rogers. And she is, to my knowledge, not on Spotify. So we'll put a link in the show notes to her link tree, which can get you to her Bandcamp, I think is where you can listen to her music.
Okay.
Gorgeous songs, wonderful Appalachian folk mountain type music, but with a modern sensibility. She's relatively young. She's originally, I think, from the Owingsville, Bath County, Kentucky area, which is up in northeastern Kentucky. But her father, Don Rogers, is the multi-instrumentalist for the local Honeys. He's also a Morehead State graduate and a kind of a traditional instrument teacher at some places in eastern Kentucky. So he's a known guy in the music space in the mountains and around Kentucky. And then Grace Ann, his daughter, is an artist in her own right. She's actually based here in Louisville now.
Oh,
I've seen her on the bill at the Monarch a couple of times, but haven't been able to make it to see her. But now that I've gotten to see her live, I love her stuff. She's got really just gorgeous songs and really good music and a really cool band. And so Grace Ann Rogers is going to be my picking the grinning this week. And I'm tickled that I got to see her. And yes, I'm going to stalk her madly to get her to come on the show at some point. So
not too madly. We don't need you getting arrested or restraining orders. You know, that's not a good look.
Yeah, I don't want to go for a baker's dozen. The 12 I've got already are enough. So I'll lay off the serious
It's a joke,
stuff.
folks. That's a joke, I think.
You never know. I do have a couple ex-girlfriends who really don't like me.
Oh my God. Okay. Anyway, just like I got sidetracked with hockey, now you're getting sidetracked with ex-girlfriends.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a good time to wrap it all up.
Probably a good idea. Roots Music Rambler is a production of Falls and Partners, copyright 2025. Our theme music is Sheepskin and Beeswax by Gentacorum. Join us online at rootsmusicrambler.com or on YouTube, and make sure you mash that subscribe or follow button so you remember to join us for the next hoedown and throwdown. She's Frank.
And he's Falls.
And whatever you do, kids, ramble on.